I started the stream.
Speaking of carry, I should boot up. Speaking of carry, I should boot up my Switch.
Speak up, Brandon.
I said, speaking of carry, I should boot up my Switch.
Hello, peeps and peoples. How's everyone doing today? Let me fix my... There we go. Well, I should probably change my Twitter profile name to say live on YouTube. Let me do that real quick before I forget.
I really should start doing that more often whenever I go live.
Alright, there we go. So, people of YouTube, have I missed anything during my time away in Arkansas?
Ooh, actually,
Yeah,
before I boot up Pokemon, let me see what's happening in Tetris 99.
do I need to turn Discord up a little bit? Hold on.
Wait, what's up?
Brian, you talk.
I'm talking.
Brian, why are you so much louder than Brandon? The heck?
Because I'm naturally soft-spoken?
Meanwhile, I have Brandon on full volume and Brian at half volume. Brandon, talk louder. I literally can't do anything else to turn you up anymore. Now, also, hey, Angel Droid.
Soft-spoken.
There you go, thank you. Hey, Angel Droid, thank you for the 39 months. I appreciate that. Who's ready to build more on the adventure mode?
I'm just waiting for one of these days for Brandon to just scream into his mic and blow out your ears.
Do it. Do it. Do it, coward.
I will not.
Do it, coward.
I don't need your chat hating me.
All right, so adventure mode stuff. Continuing kind of off where we left off. Continuing on from where we left off last time, I did make some adjustments to it because during my time in Arkansas, I was thinking a lot about kind of how this would kind of build up and to kind of condense it from what I had while also fleshing it out a little bit more. So first off, lowering the number of enemies that show up, because obviously, brought down the weak enemies to I think what I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weak enemies per world. Only I think 4 strong enemies, so only 10 basic enemies across each world. Bringing it down to only 2 mini bosses and then a single world boss. That I think is a bit more, I guess, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not necessarily realizable, even though that is a good word to use. A little more, Brian, come up with a word for me.
What kind of word are you looking for?
A word that, you know, describes what it is I'm talking about here, obviously. That, makes it easier on the programmers and animators. Let's say that.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Simple, stupid. Sure, why not? Manageable. Thank you. Mega Combat. You are my buddy. Mega Combat. Manageable. Thank you. Feasible too. That's a good word as well. There we go. There we go. Is my arm better? Kind of. It's getting there. Anyway. Stream is jumping. Chair. What? Okay, there we go. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're alive.
Hold on, I'll check in a second.
All right, it's showing green. It's showing green. You watch my Undertale Smash videos way too much. Well, I'm glad you like them. All right, what's my upload? Whoa! Now suddenly my upload thing's at 75, 70, 70-ish. There we go. That's way better, right?
Yeah, that's a lot better actually.
Cool. Wait. Cool. 60. Okay, it's 60. Cool. I think we're good now. I don't know what was going on with my internet, but I fixed it. It's fixed, everybody. Now let's actually do what it is I wanted to come here today to do. What was I doing? Oh yeah. We were talking about fleshing out the Smash Adventure mode, cool stuff. So I brought up before how I brought down the number of enemies that would show up in each world, and so I think I have it to 6 normal weak enemies, 4 strong enemies. Obstacle enemies doesn't really matter how many of those there are. 2 mini bosses and then 1 big boss, like for the end of the world. I'm also thinking as well, we probably should limit each series to its own single level, as opposed to saying there'll be 3 levels per, because that'd be a lot considering how many series there are. But I think something very simple that can be done: have the level encase multiple themes. Because kind of like what, for example, what I got here for Super Mario Bros. A Mario Bros. Level, if this was a simple, basic first world kind of deal, it could be Mushroom Kingdom Grasslands for a good portion of the level, but then towards the end of the level you transition into Bowser's Castle, and that's where the level ends. That makes sense. That makes sense, right, guys? Something else I was also kind of thinking that'd be pretty cool. What if, if we were to kind of set this up, what if it was set up in a way where, the adventure mode can be, a branching path kind of deal? So think kind of like what Star Fox 64 does with its levels, where, except instead of, the levels you go to being based off your performance, when you beat a level, you can then choose what level you can go to that's on that branching path. But then the higher the difficulty is that you're playing, the more levels that you'll be forced to play. And then, if you were playing the hardest possible difficulty, you'd be forced to play every single world. How does that sound to you guys? Because then we could have a situation where, because if we were to make an adventure mode that had a level based on every single series, that'd be a lot of levels. Now, granted, there are still some 2D platformer games that still probably would have more levels in general, but for a Smash Bros. Game, keeping it a little bit more condensed probably wouldn't hurt. But giving the option to have it either be short or long, I think would be a pretty good compromise, based on level difficulty. What do you guys think on that front? Darkest Dungeon 2? I have no clue what that is.
Isn't that a horror game?
I don't know. The 3DS version? Did the 3DS version do that? I don't remember.
Also, if that's the case, how dare you bring up horror games in my presence?
So something I've been kind of working on, I mostly fleshed it out with Mario for the most part. It's not finished yet, and I kind of did a little bit of all the other ones as I went. Kind of talking about what elements would exist specifically in each world. And obviously, a Mario world, floating blocks, item blocks, warp pipes, lava bars. The stuff you'd see in Mario that you probably wouldn't see in other worlds, obviously. I'm kind of giving a little bit of description of each world, and something else that I thought would be fun to do, that I know actually a lot of you kind of wanted me to do as well, more items. What if every single world had its own batch of items that only show up in that world? There could still be the Smash original items that can be common in every single world, but then each world also has its own batch of items that only show up there. So these are the items that I have listed down for Mario. I'm gonna limit it for now. I may condense this later, but I'm gonna limit it for now to 9 items per world, 9 unique items per world. And with Mario, there really wouldn't be any new ones because Mario already has a lot of items in Smash Bros. So the green and red shells, which I know the green and red shells are kind of obsolete items at this point. We haven't seen those in a little bit, but I wanted these anyway because the Koopa Troopa enemy exists, which can be turned into those items. Mega Mushroom, yep, that's Super Mushroom. Or is that the bigger mushroom? I forget. How's that work? So I figured these items, like these familiar items, are already in a pretty good spot. I'm also starting to get it more into like what each enemy does specifically, as well as if it has any variants. Because I do want to kind of count variant enemies as kind of the same enemy, even if they are, you know, slightly different. Mega is the bigger mushroom. No, we don't need that. It's fine. Because all these items that I have listed here are already items that have appeared in Smash. And I do kind of want to give a little more priority to those kinds of items first. If that makes sense. And then as for the enemies that I've chosen, like, so for the weak enemies, under Mario anyway, I got Goomba, Koopa. So Goomba can have Paragoomba variants. Koopa can have Red Koopa variants or Paratroopa variants. Boo, Piranha Plant, Cheep, and Dry Bones. So I believe the enemies that I ended up knocking off that are not going to show up then are Buzzy Beetle and Babam. Well, Babam I went ahead and threw under item. Because there could be like some items that can also act as enemies, but that are still just items. So Babam's is just going to be under the item category in that case. And Buzzy Beetle is kind of just a variant to Koopa Troopa. So we don't need the same thing. Under strong enemies, I got Hammer Bro, Lakitu, Magic Koopa, and Wiggler. So no Pokey, no Spike. Sorry, guys. I went ahead and threw Bill Blasters and Thwomps under obstacle enemies. I will have to throw Podoboo under that later. I figured the best two mini bosses to have would be Boom Boom and Chomp and Chain Chomp. And then for the world boss, this one I'm a little conflicted on because it probably should be Giga Bowser. But could I also potentially make Giga Bowser a Smash boss, and then use a different enemy for world boss, like PD Piranha? Like, what do you guys think on that front? Like, should we just stick Giga Bowser under the Mario world, or have it be in a separate case where it could be like a Smash boss, and then make the Mario world boss something different? No, I'm not using Dry Bowser. Replace Chain Chomp with PD? Well, I feel like PD in general would have to get... If we keep PD Piranha as a boss, I do feel like at this point it probably should get retooled anyway. Because they built PD Piranha originally as a boss with the cages in mind. So I do think, to an extent, PD probably should be retooled as a boss to not be so reliant on those cages. But I'd say, like, the Mario World boss should be either Bowser or PD Piranha. Giga Bowser or PD Piranha, I should say. One of those two. It just depends, though. Like, if we choose Giga Bowser, then that's it. If we choose PD Piranha, then Giga Bowser would be used for something separate. What do the peoples think? Some people are just saying to just keep it as Bowser. Some are saying to have it as PD. No, not Fury Bowser. It's Giga Bowser or nothing. Giga or bust. Is my thing lagging again? What is happening with my internet today?
Hold on a minute.
Should I just bring down the bitrate or something?
That might help.
What do you think I should bring it down to, where it still looks good, but won't lag it as much?
What's it at right now?
5,000?
You could probably get away with 4,000, 3,000 at minimum.
3,000 at minimum?
Yeah.
I'll do 3,000 just to be safe. Let's see if that helps it at all. Okay. Create a poll? Okay, I can do a poll.
Also, check. Can y'all still hear me okay? Or do I need to start speaking up more?
Who's the Mario World end boss? Is it Giggs or is it Pete? They can still hear you.
Okay.
My mic's a little bass boosty. Turn it down a little bit then.
And I hack in a secret third option, wart.
Go to jail.
What's wrong with Wart?
Go to jail. It's looking like Pete so far.
Also, chat, I got addicted to the Pikmin 4 demo. It's like, this is really making me want to try the series.
Yeah, I played it too, and as soon as I finished it, I was incredibly sad because I wanted to keep playing it. Because that game is going to activate so many neurons of serotonin in my brain from what I've played.
Like, as I was playing through the demo, like one thought just kept going through my brain. This is like, at least to me anyway, this is gonna be one of those games where you're just gonna get a lot of satisfaction just trying to find everything.
Alright, so we will make the world boss of Mario PD Piranha, and we will hold Giga Bowser for a separate, maybe like end of adventure mode kind of deal. Which is fitting, because that's when that's how you fought him in the original Melee too, at the end of the adventure mode. So he could be like a boss you fight at the end. Not the boss you fight at the end of the adventure mode, but a boss you fight at the end, if that makes sense. Because, especially if we set this up where, like, the Mario level is, like, one of the first levels you go into, Giga Bowser just doesn't feel, you know, that good of a first boss. Giga Bowser's always been a final boss. Or at the very least, something along those lines. Yeah, a late game boss, yeah. Okay.
I said what I said. What's wrong with War? Mario Bros. 2 was a fun game. As a matter of fact, Yoshi all played Super Mario Bros. Advance on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance service.
Wart hasn't been the same since the Applebee's incident. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I kind of started going down how each of the enemies would function, and for the most part, they, at least the 2D platformer enemies, which are really easy to kind of figure out, will function relatively the same as they do in their base games in a Smash Adventure mode. Though I do feel like, yes, some of them would be a little bit different, like the Goomba. Like, 'cause I feel like I don't like the idea of just touching an enemy hurting you in Smash Bros. Unless the enemy's body is inherently dangerous. Like if it's covered in spikes or something, that makes sense. But just touching an enemy when it's just standing there shouldn't just hurt you. So enemies should have like attacks to make it more beat 'em up-y, I guess. Like, also something that I thought of that I think would be really mean that I kind of want to do. Some enemies I think should have the ability to pick up and use items as well. Like the Hammer Bro, that makes sense, right? The Hammer Bro being able to pick up items that it finds and using them.
Yeah, Mario Advance, Super Mario Advance is probably the definitive version of Mario Bros. 2. Especially like Mario, I think it was Super Mario Bros. Advance that had this. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain it was, where it had like the little Yoshi challenge where you had to go around the world like finding the Yoshi eggs. I never knew what getting all those eggs did. I just remember it being a thing.
I don't know.
I had the cartridge.
Sumo Bro for mini boss. I don't know. I do feel like we should stick to what's iconic, and let's be real, Chain Chomp. Chain Chomp's a big one.
Oh, I know why the Yoshi challenge annoyed me so much, because you could only find the eggs in the dark world with the little potions to travel through the doors, and you just never knew where the what spots the Yoshi eggs were. It was like trying to find the mushrooms in the dark world to increase your life in Mario Bros. 2. It's like you just didn't know where they all were, and all the eggs were in like different spots, and it's like finding them all is gonna be a pain unless you had a guide or something. Or
Chain Chomps are too weak. You take that back.
chain chomps are too.
What game are you playing where the chain chomps are weak? In most games, you can't even kill the chain chomps.
Are you a dog hater?
He's a
Yeah,
dog hater.
hold on. If you're a dog hater, I might have to ban you. If you're a cat hater, I might have to ban you too.
King Babam is a mini boss. That is an option too. I suppose I could make Chain Chomp an obstacle enemy where it just can't be killed, because that is technically a thing in some Mario games.
Oh, Fire Chomp was a thing in Mario Bros. 3, and I think that's the only time it made an appearance too.
They can't go anywhere. I mean, the one's bolted down, sure, but is this one bolted down?
Would you guys prefer that? Would you guys prefer to fight a Chain Chomp or to have it just be an obstacle enemy where it's there for you to for you to kind of? King Babam is too strong for mini boss. Depends.
Can't you fight chain chomps in Mario in the Mario and Luigi games? Or am I bugging? I think there are at least I think there are at least enemies in Paper Mario, right?
Yeah, because you can fight them in Paper Mario, but it really depends on the game.
Yeah.
Some people are obstacle. Some people are saying they prefer it as an Okay, wait, that's fine. We can do that then.
I mean,
I want Chain Chomp. Chain Chomp has to be here.
chain chomp as an obstacle would make sense.
Oops.
We're just saying chain chomp is also fightable as well.
It depends on the game. Like,
it does depend on
if we make it an
I'm just saying
obstacle, if we make it an obstacle enemy for this theoretical adventure mode, then it wouldn't be something you can beat.
Yeah.
Make it a mini boss
I'm just
then.
saying it is possible.
Reznor? Who's Reznor?
Reznor is the Ferris wheel boss you fight in Mario World and in New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Oh no, I don't want that.
I say the Ferris wheel of rhinos. Let's put it that way.
I'm fine with just King Babam being a mini boss because King Babam kind of can be both. Because beforehand we put it under major boss, but it depends on how we build King Babam. Like we can build King Babam, I guess something a little more similar to like Mario 64, where let's be real here, Mario 64 it kind of was just a mini boss. I'm fine with that. And then we can kind of build up how they would function later. For now, let's focus on what we actually want them to have.
Okay, y'all know what I meant, chat. Like, come on.
Alright, anyway. DK. Donkey Kong. So, the world, I figured just Kong Jungle, which progresses into the minecart caves, is probably a decent level.
I mean, you can say Reznor is not that iconic, but Nintendo at least remembered it well enough to acknowledge it twice.
So, Donkey Kong was kind of the first one where I started thinking of new items. So obviously we have the banana peel, we got the hammer, we got the spring, we got the barrels, we got the banana gun. But here are some new items that I thought of from Donkey Kong that I think would be a ton of fun. The coconut gun. Large ranged weapon that fires a coconut projectile straight forwards. Coconut explodes on contact. Wielding this weapon limits the user's movement. Banana cluster. A cluster of 5 bananas that the player may pick up and hold. Using the item has the player consume one of the bananas, healing that player for 20% of their damage. Eating a banana automatically drops the banana peel behind the user. And then the life balloons. Picking this up has it attached to the user for a limited amount of time. Has it attached to the user, BJ. The attached player will have a slower fall speed. If the player falls into a bottomless pit while attached to a balloon, it will slowly float them back up. How do those sound for DK inspiring items? And we need one more to make it 9. Banana juice? What game has banana juice? The orange grenades? What game had orange grenades? Was that 64 as well? I forget. Explosive pineapples from Jungle Beat. It wouldn't hurt to have a throwable bomb item, I suppose. Because it's like, so far we got the basic, hazard. We got the hammer, which is always the hammer. The spring item, the barrel item, which, large tossable item that, also drops more items. Banana gun for a ranged weapon. Coconut gun would be another ranged weapon. Banana cluster is a healer item. And life balloon's an upgrade item. Should actually point that out. An upgrade item. So when I call things upgrade items, think of like the Franklin badge or the screw attack, things like that. Things that you don't necessarily need to hold, but you wear them, and they add something to your moveset. The poll is still up, and now it's in Giga Bowser's favor. Oh yeah, it is. How'd that happen? Well, guess we'll figure that out as we go. I'll leave that up for a little while longer then. Any specific game this would be in? The next one, a reboot? It's just theoretical. It's whatever. Alright, we'll come back to the item. So here are the enemies that I went ahead and chose. So because I condensed the list, I went ahead and just removed the Tikis and the Nomads. And just stuck to mainly like the more known monsters that have been in multiple games. So mainly like the Kremlings and some of the animals alongside that. So like for the weak enemies, we got critters, claptraps, naughties, neckies, armies, and flitters. For the strong enemies, we got clumps, crushes, zingers, and clobbers. I went ahead and added oil drum and fireballs as obstacle enemies, because that's something that appeared in some Donkey Kong games, but was also an obstacle in the original Donkey Kong. So that's super harkening back. Mini bosses, I went ahead and put down Master Necky and Mugly, and for the world boss, King Crusher K. Rool, so bigger K. Rool. How's my wrist? It's getting better. It's getting there. Tiki Tongue or Frederick? Nah. Yeah, no Tikis, no Nomads. Mainly Kremlings. Because Kremlings are like the Donkey Kong enemy, even if we haven't seen them for a little while. They're still like the Donkey Kong enemy. So I should also mention, this wouldn't... When I say King Crusher K. Rool, this wouldn't be like the normal K. Rool that we see normally. He'd be like a bigger version of him. Like giant K. Rool that we see in DK, in 64 and Melee? Yeah, kinda. And then at some point, I am gonna have to go back to all those games and like relearn what all these enemies' habits are, so I can kind of figure out like what to write for them and what they'd all do. The barrel from the original Donkey Kong game, way ahead of you, because the barrel was already an item in Smash Bros. Animal crate. Jump out on it to let Rambi or I'm gonna just run around, or even jump on him to ride him for at least a little while. Rambi. I don't see that as an item, but I can see that as a world element. I can put that down as a world element for now. We can flesh it out later. What is the plot of this? It doesn't need a plot. Think of it kind of like the Melee adventure mode, where it's literally just levels you go through. Like, if we could think of a plot, we can always think of one later on, but it's not necessarily designed to have a plot. It's just designed to be a fun little platforming thing that we can go through. The Kong letters, if you grab them, you get to continue. Oh, wait, that's kind of a fun idea, actually. I like that. Arthur, that's a cool... what do you... Yeah, Brandon, Brian, what do you guys think of that? Was I abandoned?
No.
What do you...
I think it works.
I kind of super like that idea, actually. Kong letters. And how they'd work is a 4... So think of like Dragoon or Daybreak. It's a multi-piece item that once you collect all the pieces, you get its really good benefits. A 4-piece item. When you collect a letter, it goes by your icon. If you collect all 4, you get an extra stock. That was a really good idea, Arthur. I really like that one. If you take enough damage, you can drop a letter. Sick. I like that. That's super cool. Alright, so then I think we're good on Donkey Kong items then. I'm still pretty satisfied with the enemy listings. Yeah, I think we're good for DK for now. Oh, also, something I should mention as well. Now I'm kind of wondering. Something that I'm going to start doing from now on, guys, just for the sake of making sure I don't over-tune my hand anymore. I'm going to start streaming more often for you guys, but I'm going to try to limit myself to maybe at around 2 to 3 hours a stream. Is that fine with you guys? So I can't be doing these super long streams anymore just for the sake of not messing up my hand. Because remember, even off stream, I still got stuff I got to do for the videos. So I'll let you guys know about that ahead of time now. All right. So with that said, we gotta start flying through this. Zelda. So a Zelda world. I think a Zelda world can be the first maze-like world. So not all the levels have to be, just these left to right whatevers. They can also be these giant expanded maze-like levels. So Metroidvania kind of levels, where you can go through them like that.
Yeah.
And I think a Zelda level, especially one where it's like, where the themes are Lost Woods and then Zelda Dungeon, is a pretty good, like, maze-like world to kind of start with.
Because I was going to say, it's like, man, I can't wait to turn on Smash Brothers and play through Death Mountain.
For the items, I got the fairy bottle. I added the bomb flower. I think the bomb flower would be a pretty neat item to have, where when it spawns in a flower that cannot be moved from its spot, but you can pick up the bombs from there and, throw them like bomb items. And it keeps spawning bombs until it runs out. That, I think, would be a pretty neat idea for a Smash item. And we got the beetles, bomb chews, bunny hoods, Deku Nuts, Gust Bellows, heart containers. We need one more good Zelda item, though, that I think would be nice. And then for the enemies that I went ahead and chose... Bokoblins, Keys, Choo-Choos, Octoroks. Haven't decided on the last two. You guys can help me with that. For the strong enemies, the two that I've chosen so far are Moblins and Like-Likes. Obstacle enemies, we got Beamoses, Wallmasters, Cuckos, and then the world boss is Ganon. Unless we do the same thing for Ganon like we did for Giga Bowser, if we choose to do that, and have Giga Bowser be kind of like an end of adventure mode boss, and then use a different boss as the Zelda boss. Also, I kind of want to add for the Bokoblins as well. Can pick up and use items. And let me also add that for the Moblins. Because that makes sense for them too. Dark Nuts? I was thinking Dark Nuts too. Dark Nuts probably should be there.
Bokoblin picks up a Deku Nut, throws it at you, you get stunned.
Lizalfos? Oh yeah, Lionel's. Lionel is mini boss for sure. Lionel needs to be mini boss. The 4 mini bosses that we had listed before were Peahats, Hinoxes, Dodongos, and Lionels. I do want to keep Lionels. What do you guys think should be that other Redeads? Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I do want Redeads too. You're right. You're right. All right, so then we're good on that. So what should be our other 2 weak enemies then? Because before, in terms of weak enemies, a few of the ones that I have listed here that I haven't listed on the new one yet were Bubbles, Stalfoses, Tektites, and Pose. Hinox, Gleeok, Lever. The slime from Breath of the Wild? That's Choo-Choo. We already got Choo-Choo. Stalfos, Poe. Tektites. You guys think we should have Pose? That would give us more aerial enemies. Because currently here we have no aerial strong enemies. And the only aerial enemy that I have listed here right now are Keys. So yeah, we can do Pose to give more variety for the aerial enemies. Wizrobe. I think we're gonna have to cancel out Wizrobe.
Floor Masters.
I have that's the same as Wall Masters, and I have those under obstacle enemies. Hinox. You guys think Hinox should be the other mini boss? Hinox is another pretty reoccurring boss, or enemy in general, I should say. Alright, we can have Hinox be the other mini boss then. Fair enough. We still need one good weak enemy then. And I'm thinking it should be between Bubbles, Stalfoses, or Tektites. What do you guys think? Definitely Stalfos. Tektite, Stalfos. I don't know. I don't think we need to do a poll for this one. I'm saying mostly Stalfos. Alright, Stalfos it is. Okay then. And then yeah, what do you think, yeah, what do you guys think would be a good last 9th item for Zelda?
You know what? We had the thing with the DK letters. What if you had pieces of the Triforce?
What would that do though? Because I feel like just having another item that grants you a life is kind of like we don't want too many of that.
Well, how about grants you like temporary invincibility?
So it's a weaker Starman. Gives you the final smash. I mean, it's not terrible. That's not a terrible idea. I'm trying to think of the You know what the Zelda items need actually? We need a good melee weapon. We don't have any good melee weapons from Zelda. What would be a good melee weapon item for Zelda? Where's Gibdo? I already got Gibdo. Oh, oops. I wrote down Redead instead. That should be Gibdo. My bad. The Deku Stick? A hammer? Big Goron sword? Fire rod? I guess if we use the big Goron sword, what would that do that would separate it from other melee items? Because let's think about it like this. If we build these items, let's pretend that these could all be items that could also show up in like normal Smash matches. So if we try to get a little bit of diversity, but also like enough that like gives us like whatchamacallits, stupidly powerful. What is a stomping Triforce? The Skull Hammer? Megaton Hammer would make shockwaves. Power Bracer. Actually, despite what I just said, the Power Bracer actually doesn't sound like a bad idea. An upgrade item that just makes you super strong.
Oh god, put that on Ganondorf.
I kind of dig that, actually. It's Kirby's idea. I kind of like that, actually. I'm gonna do that. Doubles the damage you deal from melee attacks. People keep bringing up the Korok Leaf as well. We kind of already have the Gust Bellows, but now I'm kind of thinking, what if we just replace the Gust Bellows with the Korok Leaf? Does anyone here actually like the Gust Bellows? Like as an item?
No.
Who here would be fine with replacing Gust Bellows with a Korok Leaf?
The only people who like the Gust Bellows are the ones who use them all the time. And don't share.
Alright, I'm fine with that. A melee item deals weak damage, but each use causes a wind gust. Charging the attack creates a larger gust. Here we go. A balanced gust bellows, guys. Can you believe it?
We did it. We did the impossible.
After blowing a certain amount of gusts, the leaf breaks. There we go. For a limited time. Cool. Alright, I'm done with that. Also, dang, Gigs is now winning by a lot. Alright then, forget the idea of Giga Bowser being like an end of world boss. Or like an end of story mode, adventure mode boss. He could just be the normal boss, I guess. That's fine. Alright. Sick. Alright. No, keep it Sorry guys, democracy has spoken. This is why I hate democracy. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, Metroid. So Metroid would of course be another maze-like world, but I think a fun idea as well. It can be it can be a world with a potential gimmick at the end where after you beat the world boss, the world's about to blow up, so you gotta get off the planet. So an escape sequence. So just like what we saw in the adventure mode in Melee, add an escape sequence to the Metroid world. I think that'd be funny. Lots of potential for items, guys. And then for the enemies, yeah. So Metroid is one that I'm not as familiar with, so I'm gonna need your guys' help on figuring out what we want to do for enemies. So. Let's start with the weak enemies real quick. Let's figure out what weak enemies we want to put in. I went ahead and put in the Gamer, BJ, Rios, and Screes. What should the other three weak enemies be? Because I have listed here Wavers, Novas, Zeros, Sidehoppers, and Zoomers. Of those 5 enemies, what should we put for these 3? Key Hunters and weak. We had Key Hunters and strong originally. Wave Hoppers, Zoomers. Wavers, Hoppers, and Zoomers. Is that what we should do? Because what would give us the most enemy variety? Because unfortunately, I don't remember what any of these enemies are, so... what would give us the most enemy variety here? Here, let me look up real quick what all these enemies even are. Metroid... Gamer... Alright, the Gamers were the little dudes with the spikes on their backs. And they crawl around on the ground, looks like. Rios... Not Geos. Rios, BJ... Can't type with this splint. Rios look like little flying dudes with big claws. Big, meaty claws. What were the Screes? Those were also... Okay, I think those were the flying enemies that dive at you, I believe? Okay. The X-Parasite? Oh, yeah. That should be... Yeah, the X-Parasite should be under strong. Yeah, we need X-Parasites. Those are pretty important. What were Novas? Those were the little crawly dudes with flames on their backs. Wavers. What are these? Oh, they're the shelled creatures. I guess they fly? They look like they fly. What are Zeros? Not Metroid Zero Mission. Zero Enemy. Oh, just another little crawly dude, I guess. With a hard shell. Wait, no, that's a Ripper. That's Zero, okay. But again, another little crawly dude.
Yo, BJ, what if you had a Shriek Bat?
A what?
A shriek bat. They're from Metroid Prime.
A shriek bat?
Yep.
Is that just another flying little bat enemy? What's it do?
Yeah. Well, they attack in swarms.
Wait, how are Zoomers different from Gamers? And then Side Hopper. Okay, I'm adding the Side Hoppers just because those look the most different compared to everything else. Yeah, like we already have Ripper under obstacle enemy. I can add, yeah, that's right, because I believe I had Emmy as an obstacle enemy as well. So let me add Emmy. As an obstacle enemy. How are Zoomers different from Gamer? That's not what I said, Maniac! Alright. What were the waivers again? Those guys. Alright, I'm gonna add waivers under weak enemy. And then... What were Novas were the... Novas were effectively Gamers on fire, right? Kinda. Yeah. Yeah. I'll make Nova the final enemy. Okay, cool. And then we do one more strong enemy. And I think that'll just be the Key Hunter. There we go. Then under mini bosses. What did we want to do for the mini bosses? Will we make adventure mode moveset characters for moveset characters like for Bendy? Yeah, but I want to finish all the official series first. Also, what would the world boss be? Okay, I'm fine with not making the world boss Ridley. So what is it going to be? Is it going to be Mother Brain or Metroid Queen? Which one we want more?
Which one would be the more interesting fight?
Yeah, which one? Yeah. In terms of the world boss. The music stopped? Why my music stop? I didn't tell it to do that. Metroid Queen, Mother Brain, Metroid up. Alright, next poll. Who's the Metroid boss? Is it big? Oops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Is it Big Mama Brain or Queen Brain Sucker? Who is it? Oops. There we go. Okay. And then, yeah, for our two mini bosses, I feel like the Chozo statue is pretty needed. That's a pretty iconic mini boss. Who'd be the other one, though? Kraid is not a mini boss. There's nothing mini about Kraid.
Yes, that. I'm pretty sure that guy qualifies as 5 mini bosses at once.
beforehand, aside from the Chozo statue, the other 3 mini-bosses that we had listed before were the Zeta Metroid, Crocomire, and the Chozo Soldier. Omega Metroid as a mini-boss? I don't think Omega Metroid also qualifies as mini-boss. Let me see. Because you guys keep saying Omega Metroid.
I returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I miss anything?
I don't know. Have you? Oh, actually, the Omega Metroid isn't that big. Looking at it. Okay, fine. We can make the Omega Metroid the other mini-boss. That's fine with me. And currently, Big Mama Brain is winning the poll.
We're not calling her Big Mama Brain. What's wrong with y'all?
that's what I call her.
That's crazy.
Alright, Mother Brain will be the world end boss then. Unless that changes. I'll keep that poll up for a while, unless that changes. Because that happened for Petey, so we'll see. Alright, so what items do we want for Metroid? We need 8 items that we can do for Metroid. What would be some good items? Some good Metroid items? What do you guys think? The Ice Beam? I don't think we can use that as an item. Because it's stuck in the arm cannon.
Power Bomb could work.
Shine Spark, single-use upgrade item? Oh, wait, what's the name of that bomb that, like, nukes the entire screen?
Power Bomb.
Power Bomb. I want that to be an item. So here's how this one will work. I wonder. You pick up this item, then automatically hold it overhead. After some startup, if uninterrupted, it will create a large explosion that expands outward, dealing damage to the whole screen. If you are interrupted, you drop it. If it drops 3 times, it disappears. How's that sound? So Bomber plus Smart Bomb? Yes. Throwable baby Metroid that saps the... Okay. I like that idea. I'm adding on to it. Baby Metroid capsule. When you pick this item up, the baby Metroid inside
The baby.
escapes the capsule and imprints onto you. It will hover around you like a familiar. If you get close to an enemy, the Metroid will latch onto them, dealing damage until shaken off. It can be shaken off by mashing buttons or the control stick. Once it is shaken off, it returns to the user and gives them the stolen damage, healing that player. Once it heals its mother, it disappears. That sounds like an interesting item. What do you guys think?
Hey, go. Bring your mother sustenance.
So it's kind of like a little reference to the end of the Super Metroid, kinda. The high jump boots. And we kind of already have the bunny helmet or the bunny hood. I don't want too many items that are just repeats of older ones. Like they need to be able to do something slightly different. The baby.
The baby.
The baby.
The baby.
Does this mean we can get the return of Mama Luigi? Yes. Phazon canister, stronger attacks but flower effect. When I said Mama, I was thinking more about what Samus uses for her down special. Well, that's already her down special. Let's try to avoid items that the characters themselves already use. We don't want to be too repetitive.
How did I get second place in this mode the first time? I'm folding now. This game sucks.
Ice beam. You know what? I'm not channeling my inner Sakurai here. Hold on. Ice beam. Why am I sitting here making excuses like, oh, the ice beam's only in the arm cannon? Man's literally made a banana gun. A special ray gun a ranged weapon. A special ray gun that fires the ice beam. Fires ice beam projectiles. Each shot deals small damage and has a chance to freeze opponents and enemies. This will automatically freeze weak enemies, strong enemies and opponents need to be damaged first. Or can resist freezing unless they're damaged.
National Kitten Day.
Cannot freeze mini bosses and bosses. I wonder if his arm's getting better. My arm, it's getting better. It's getting there. Wave beam, a projectile that can pass through walls and obstacles. I don't know about that myself. Actually, wait a minute. Some people were bringing up the Shine Spark before. Shine Spark. An upgrade item comes in the form of a badge. When worn, it doubles your speed, and if you run through enemies, it deals damage to them. The faster you are running, the more damage it will deal. How many thumbnails are left to redraw? A lot. And I'm probably still not going to get to them anytime soon, sad face. Brian, I told you to heal my hand already.
I can't do that.
But you expect me to have telekinesis?
Yes.
Brandon, can you believe this guy?
I definitely missed something.
Chat, can you believe this guy? He won't heal my hand. I thought we were friends.
Not a miracle worker.
Okay, so...
Otherwise, Pokemon Unite would be fixed.
Fair enough.
I'll have to do what I was originally going to do. Oh, this is gonna suck, actually, now that I think about it.
Alright. We'll come back to items and such for Metroid, and I'll have to research what all these enemies do to figure out what they can do for whatever's. Alright, Yoshi! Let's look at Yoshi now. I want to look at Yoshi.
Yoshi's gonna be... Wait, didn't we do Yoshi last time?
Well, we're kind of we're kind of fleshing them out a little more.
Oh.
So we're kind of going through them all. All right, Yoshi. So Yoshi's Island, flower fields, and a towering fortress. Kind of the idea is that half of this world is flower fields, which is left to right. The second half is a tower, which the player must vertically climb. Items, lipstick. Brownie points if you get that reference. Why I put that in the Yoshi world?
I actually do get the reference.
Egg, which is simple item that you can throw, and sometimes when it breaks open egg, it drops different items. Watermelon. Here's a brand new item that I thought of. An upgrade item that has the player who eats it automatically spit watermelon seeds forward whenever they attack. The seeds fly a decent distance, but deal no hit stun. Has limited use. Yeah, how's the watermelon sound for an item, guys?
See, it's funny because I actually did play a lot of Panel de Pon recently. So.
Then for the items that the enemies that I got so far that I chose for sure, Shy Guy, obviously, Mousers, Bandits, Goonies, and then what are the other two enemies that we should have? Oh wait, duh, Crazy Daisies. We need Crazy Daisies. I don't know why I didn't put Crazy Daisies before. Gotta have our Daisies.
But we have Daisy already.
And then the other three weak enemies that I have here that could go on are either Ravens, Snippets, or Ukikis. Just saying now, I do kind of want the world boss to just be Raphael the Raven. Because I don't want too many just Bowser fights. Remember to talk about fuzzies? Do you still make them an obstacle? Are fuzzies more Mario enemies or Yoshi enemies?
Yoshi's.
Are they
Yeah,
more?
because I don't think they've ever been in like a main Mario title.
Well, okay. So there are two types of fuzzies.
Well,
We're gonna get...
I think they made their first appearance in Mario World, which is Yoshi. Which Yoshi shows up in too, I suppose.
Yeah. Like they're the black fuzzies, and they're
the psychedelic fuzzies.
Yeah.
Bert the Bashful should be a mini boss.
So I mean, if we're gonna get technical.
So then Fuzzy should be an obstacle enemy then? Oh wait, I already have that listed here.
Yeah, Fuzzy's an obstacle.
Why are you guys saying Fuzzy when I already got listed here? I should read my own stuff sometimes too. That helped too.
Yeah. We're talking the first fuzzies, because Yoshi's Island is technically a
And then
prequel.
I also had Bumpty and Pachyderm under obstacle enemies. I'd like to be able to spell, but it's really hard to do with a splint. Anyway. Kamek as a mini-boss?
I thought I saw a red deerling. I was about to scream.
I don't think we need Kamek as a mini-boss.
Straight Eevee?
The other mini-bosses that I had listed here were Mega Guy, Gargantuan Blargs, and Tap Tap the Red Nose. Like, of those, what do you guys think should be, you know, good for a second mini-boss?
Oh, God.
I'm not going to put Piranha Plant here because we already have Piranha Plants in the Mario world.
DJ question.
What's that?
What was the sandwich recipe for egg power again?
I don't remember.
Ugh.
Blarg? You guys think we should do Blarg? I'm down for Blarg. Or Tap Tap. Make up your minds! Who's our mini boss? Is it Blarg or is it Tap Tap?
Who's Tap Tap again?
He was the big spiky dude with the big red nose.
Oh.
Oh, it is super looking like Blarg. It is super looking like Blarg.
Blarg.
Oh, that's right. This Fuecoco I had has perfect IVs.
Guess we're doing Blarg. Alright, and then for other enemies, Zeus guy is a strong enemy. See, that's what I'm wondering about though, because I kind of want to have both Slugger and Green Glove. Because I feel like you can't really have one without the other. Maybe you can, but I don't know. Maybe they can be together. Slugger is the baseball shy guy with the bat. Green Glove is the baseball shy guy that throws that throws the baseballs. I kind of want that actually. Bandit as an enemy? Yeah, we already got Bandit. Toady? Already got Toady. We need one more little enemy. So is it going to be Raven, Sniffit, or Ukiki? Yeah, Junior. I already put Magic Koopas under Mario. They're already there. They're... Ukiki? Sniffit? Ukiki? 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 Ukiki it is! Monkey! Okay, cool. So we need more Yoshi items. What are some more good Yoshi items? Baby Bubble. I feel like Sniffit would count as a type of Shy Guy. Yeah, I could. I could make that cheat. Question mark clouds that you hit with eggs. That, I think, would be a world element, not an item. We could just do basic fruit. Baby Yoshi as an item.
Chuck babies at people.
Red and blue. Nah, let's just stick to the normal green ones. We don't need fire and ice there. Transformations, nah. Cookies? What, are just basic healing items? Flowers like the Kong letters? Nah. I don't want too many of that. Wings?
Oh, the little the wings that show up out of question blocks in like Mario World, where if you have a Yoshi, you just like take flight.
All right, we'll come back to Yoshi. Kirby. So Kirby, I kind of see as another kind of just beginner world.
This is so free.
It's like if we built it off like the Star Fox like branching path kind of deal, or even like the Kingdom Hearts overworld deal. Like imagine kind of like that or whatever. I see Kirby and Mario being some of the first worlds you can go to that you can choose to go to. Haven't fully decided how I want to build the world just yet. Greens, obviously. Basic left to right world. Items. Lots of Kirby items. Warp Star, Star Rod, Maximum Tomatoes, Bombers, which act as enemies as well. Dragoon, Parasol, Super Spicy Curry. So we're missing 2 Kirby items. Enemies pretty easy. Waddle Dees, Bronto Birds, Poppy Bros, Sir Kibble, Rocky, Chili. Strong enemies, Waddle Doo, Scarfy, Knuckle Joe, Blade Knight. Obstacle enemies, Gordo, Shatso. Mini bosses. Bonkers has to be there. I'm not sure what to do for the last mini boss. And then there's the world boss. Marks is an existing boss, but we don't necessarily need to use Marks.
Don't say Wispy, please don't say Wispy.
Chef Cow. You guys think Chef Kawasaki should be the other mini boss?
Actually, for a mini boss, Chef Kawasaki could work.
No, not Dark Matter. Make it Cracker or Wispy Woods. We could just make it Wispy Woods, honestly.
Ah!
Which, honestly, you know what? If we design... Here. Let me write this down here. A starting world. And I'm gonna... You know what? Sorry, guys. I'm vetoing an earlier poll. A starting world. I think Mario and Kirby should both be potential starting worlds that you can pick from, and because that's the case, I think Giga Bowser should not be the Mario World boss. It should be Petey Piranha, because Petey Piranha feels a little more on par with Wispy Woods. You get what I mean here? As like starting bosses. Like, you guys see what I mean when I'm talking about, like, in terms of like some of the first bosses you fight. And then we can always save Giga Bowser and Marks as like end of adventure mode bosses potentially. That I think is kind of like from a design standpoint, that just makes more sense to me. Because Giga Bowser is not a first boss. He's just not. Petey Piranha sounds like a better first boss. Because even in the context of like Sunshine, Petey Piranha kind of is the first major boss you fight. Because, like, yeah, there's, like, the goopy piranhas that come out of the ground, but those are more mini-bosses. Kracko mini-boss. Sorry, unfortunately, I'm guessing that this probably shouldn't be a Kracko. No Kracko, guys, sorry. Because you're not going to sit there and make Kracko a mini-boss, but then Wispy Wood's the main boss. It don't work like that.
They Kracko done dirty.
And then I guess for the other mini-boss, yeah, we'll do Chef Kawasaki. Because it would have been, yeah, it would have been Kawasaki, Bugsy, or Mr. Frosty. We needed Bonkers. Bonkers is like the de facto mini boss for Kirby. Marks, we can save Marks potentially as like, because I'm kind of thinking, what if like because a lot of Kirby games do this, where well, Kirby games mostly do like mini boss gauntlet towers, but I think a fun idea if like towards the end of the adventure mode, like a boss rush gauntlet, where you fight a lot of the stronger bosses that maybe wouldn't appear at earlier levels. Which, you know what, makes me think, I think Ganon falls under that same category. Because I can see Zelda being kind of another early, like not a first level, but definitely an early level. And Ganon feels like a little too early for that point. So what would be a better end world boss for Zelda then? I'm thinking the Gleeok. Either the Gleeok or Goma. One of those two. What do you guys think? Either the Gleeok or Goma.
What about Demise?
What about Demise?
Why not make him the world boss?
No. Demise is lame. Everyone's saying Goma. Okay, Goma it is. Yeah, because Goma is a pretty de facto boss in Zelda, so yeah, that makes sense. Alright. Alright then, so then what are two other items we can use for Kirby then? How's my wrist? It's getting there. It is getting better, just still sore a little bit here and there. Mike? Ooh, actually, Mike would be a kind of fun, a fun one. Is that the name of the enemy? Is it just Mike? Like the enemy that gives you the sound power, the mic power. What was the name of the enemy? I don't think it was just Mike. Because Mike was the name of the copy ability. Walkie? Was that what it was called? Yeah, Walkie. Yeah, it's called Walkie.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
There we go. All right. So this would be another enemy and item. Slowly walking around minding its own business. If picked up, the user automatically, or either the user / walkie automatically make a powerful screen nuking shout. And we'll flesh it out more later. Alright, so what's another good? Invincible Lollipop? Nah. That is, I know. Wheelie Bike. A lot of screen nukes. There's not that many comparatively to all the other items we're going to have here. Nah, I don't want the Lollipop. The Wheelie Bike. I think I already have Wheelie as an enemy. No, I don't. I removed it, actually. I don't know though. I don't know about Mint Leaf. What the Mint Leaf do? Oh, wasn't that the ability that made Kirby like constantly like spit air?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the one. I mean, if we can have an item that has anyone constantly spit fire from super spicy curry.
So you basically want the character to turn into Gus Bellows.
Spike shoe. Actually, what were some of those other items from like Return to Dreamland or Star Allies that you can pick up and move around with? 'Cause there were a few.
Cannon.
Yeah, there was a cannon.
There was I was gonna say umbrella horn, but I know that's not what it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like the little magic trumpet that like has a barrier overhead.
Yeah, there was that.
There was a candle.
Oh, the candle's just whatever. We could do the cannon.
There were similar items as well in like Triple Deluxe.
What was that cannon called? Did it have a specific name?
I'm sure it did. I'm sure there's a wiki for it.
I don't want to do the boots. Fireworks cannon. That's what it was called. Yeah, I kind of want to do the fireworks cannon.
Oh yeah, the spike boot too. Yeah.
When picked up, the user holds it over their head. While held, the cannon
Yeah. The
automatically
fireworks?
fires shots at an arc forward that explode on contact.
See, the thing about the thing about those items in Triple Deluxe is those were items that were meant specifically for the foreground background mechanic of Triple Deluxe. I don't think they would work in the 2D like. I don't think it would work in the basic 2D environment sense that we're going for here.
And must be thrown to get rid of it. Can be thrown while it shoots. Cool. Alright, we're good for Kirby then. Moving on! Star Fox! So, I do want this to be a platform-heavy level, like I have written there. Like how the player must hop across many ships to reach their destination. And obviously, Andross, I think, is a pretty good final boss for this one. I don't know the name of any of the enemies that show up in Star Fox, though. So that'll have to be research that I do later. Do we at least have any good items that can potentially show up in Star Fox?
Obviously,
I mean, there's a lot of weapons you can get in. I think it's
you could throw
in Star Fox Assault.
You could throw the silver and gold rings throughout the level, where if you like jump through them, you heal.
I'll do Star Fox in my own time. We'll just skip this one for now.
Crazy.
Pokemon! Okay, so basic Pokemon world, wild area, cave, mountain kind of deal. So here are some of the items that actually thought of for Pokemon so far. So obviously we have Pokeballs and Master Balls, which do what they usually do. Oran Berries, a food item that when eaten heals the user for 20% of their health. Rocky Helmet, an upgrade item that has the user wear a helmet for a limited time. If they take melee damage, the aggressor will also take a portion of that damage back.
I was gonna suggest Rocky Helmet.
The Float Stone, when picked up and held, the holder will move slightly faster and have floatier jumps. If thrown at an enemy, it disappears, and that enemy will fall under the same effects for a brief period of time. And then the Leftovers, which can be picked up and thrown. While holding the item, the user heals a small percentage of health over time. That's a start for the Pokemon items.
Yeah,
For the enemies, for weak enemies, I've centered on Zubat, Houndour, Nuzleaf, Pawniard, Drifloon, and Tinkatuff. For strong enemies, I've centered on Beedrill, B-Sharp, Stuntank, and Ditto. For obstacle enemies, we got Magikarp and Goldeen, Snorlax, who, by the way, while Snorlax cannot be defeated, if attacked, may drop leftovers.
Yeah,
And then Electrode and Wobbuffet. For mini bosses, I have Gyarados for sure, I don't know who I want that last one to be, and then I also don't know for sure who I really want the world boss to be.
May I make a suggestion for an item?
Yeah?
Assault vest.
Assault vest?
Like increased damage against ranged attacks, or...
I like it.
So what?
I like it. Also, thank you, thank you, Big Timmerish5, requesting for Little Bone from Skull from Hero Slayer. Not a problem. Here, click that link that's about to show up there, and you should be able to post it there. As long as the link, yeah, there it is. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate that. Assault vest. Upgrade item has the user take less damage from ranged attacks and projectiles. Anyway, so for the mini bosses, the mini bosses that we had written down before, aside from Gyarados, were also Beware, Golurk, and Steelix. Don't really want to do Steelix because that's just another giant snake, and I feel like Gyarados has to be there because Gyarados has kind of always been seen as like a de facto just nasty Pokemon to deal with. So I think it's either between Beware or Golurk, unless you guys got a better suggestion. And for the mini boss, I want it to be a giant non-legendary Pokemon.
Tyranitar.
I hate you. As for the world boss, I do kind of want to keep Rayquaza, but at the same time, either Ultra Necrozma or Gigantamax Eternatus also just sound like really fun bosses. So I really don't know. I'm seeing a lot of Golurks. Okay, Golurk it is then. The big light Pokemon from Sun Moon. Yeah, Ultra Necrozma.
Yep.
So it's between Rayquaza, Necrozma, or Eternatus. It's one of those three.
I am being pinged. I will be right back.
Like, a part of me wants to say Rayquaza, because of the three of them, Rayquaza's definitely the most popular. For sure.
You know what? I'm gonna beat you up. This is for all the suffering you've caused in Unite.
Alright, we'll stick to Rayquaza. Sounds good to me. Like, it can be, like, I think it would be pretty fun if, like, you know, the Rayquaza boss fight, you know, played out very similarly to how it did in Brawl, but then had, like, a second phase where it Mega Evolves, and you're just like, what do I do? Okay, Earthbound. So, I'm thinking the Earthbound world should just be Magicant. Like, it can start off in, like, a suburban area, but then very quickly you move to Magicant. Because I feel like Magicant is such a uniquely themed world by itself, it could very easily just be the world. Where is the music stopping? Let me move this to a different tab, like, to a different tab. Like, its own tab, so that way it doesn't stop anymore. Because that is getting on my nerves. Okay. No, we did not finish Pokemon items. Did you guys have any other suggestions for Pokemon items? I guess you guys are gonna get that while I go over Magicant real quick. So yeah, like, sorry.
Heavy duty boots.
What would that even do?
You could walk along top of hazardous obstacles like spikes.
But what would that do in normal Smash modes?
It would give you drip.
Anyway, Earthbound. Yeah, so items, Franklin Badge, Ramblin' Mushroom, Mr. Saturn, Home Run Bat. Even though Home Run Bat isn't really an Earthbound item, I just made it one. Because why not? Enemies, we got Spiteful Crow, Coil Snakes, Mr. Batty, Lily UFO, the Hippie, and the Pigmask Soldier. Strong enemies, we got Starmans, Mooks, Devil Cars, and Pigmask Colonels. Obstacle enemies, I went ahead and moved Wudo to an obstacle enemy. And then Ultimate Chimera and Porky Statue. Mini bosses, I went ahead and made Master Belch and the Pork Tank, and then the world boss can just be Porky. Simple enough. So what would be some other fun items to have for Earthbound? Ooh, hold up, actually. Kirby kind of gave another pretty fun idea. The Revive for Pokemon. Gives you another stock, but when you respawn with half the damage you had when you were KO'd. That's not a terrible idea. What do you think, Brian?
I think it works.
That's a good idea, Kirby. I like that idea.
Yeah.
You know what, actually? I'm gonna kind of alter that just a tad. It grants you an extra stock, but when you revive, or respawn, I should say, you come back with the same amount of damage that you had when you were KO'd. Because for an item that you could just pick up and just get an extra stock for free, that seems a little more balanced. Dark Meta Knight, thank you. Pokemon item idea: Fire, Thunder, Fire, Ice Stone, an upgrade that temporarily gives you elemental attributes for your melee attacks. Nah, I'm not really driving with that one myself. TM Protect. I don't want to use TMs now. Great, my bro is doing the Kirby Falcon remix. It'd be like that. Choice band, bicycle. Wait, sorry. The Earthbound music's playing. We gotta go back to Earthbound, guys.
Yeah.
Like, how does the enemy spread for Earthbound look to you guys? And do you have any other Earthbound items that you think would be good? Quick, change the music to Castlevania. I see what you're trying to do there. Bottle rockets. Oh yeah, what were some of the other items that like Jeff or like Duster used? Lloyd. Heavy bazooka. The rope snake. Spray? What was the spray again? The Yoshi pull is still open, and I can just close it. It's whatever. It's not that big a deal. Air balloon. I kind of already have the life balloon from DK. So that'd be a little redundant. If there's more berries that give different buffs, nah. Frying pan would be funny. Ruler. It lets you measure things. The absolutely safe capsule. You may as well just jump off the ledge. Yo-yo item, Lumberry. New Year's Eve bomb? What was that? That was the thing that you used to destroy the Porky statue, wasn't it? What if Dementia was the entire adventure's main villain? He's not that special. A cup of life noodles. Alright, let's try to pull back from the reviving items, though. We don't need too many of those. Alright, we'll come back to Earthbound. F-Zero!
Huh.
Huh. What do? I mean, the idea that I thought of it was like a race to the finish type level. The player must run down the track and ride various F-Zero. So it's kind of like what it already was in Melee. Kinda. We'll come back to it. Ice Climber!
I mean, at least there's enemies to work with.
Yeah. A vertical scaling level, the player must climb to the top to win. And all we got... I feel like if we want to do Ice Climber, we're gonna have to make up some stuff. Same for F-Zero, honestly. But we'll come back to Ice Climber. Fire Emblem! Okay, this will be a little easier. Yeah, so left to right level, you would travel through many different locations, mainly plains, passing through a few villages and forests along the way. Level ends in a short castle segment. I thought of one new item for Fire Emblem so far, that's the Villainary. I'm sure there's tons of other fun items and weapons we could use there. And we kind of already got a lot of the enemies as well, that was pretty easy to do. Brigands, soldiers, dark mages, archers, mercenaries, and thieves, so the weak enemies. Berserkers, assassins, sorcerers, and dark flyers were strong. Generals and wyvern lords were mini bosses. And then the Shadow Dragon himself can be the world boss. The Devil Axe? What did the Devil Axe do again? You're gonna have to remind me of that one. A powerful weapon, but if you miss, there's a chance it'll damage you. That actually sounds kind of fun. I like that. Sick. Tomes? Oh, like ranged weapons. Yeah, potentially. Either tomes like bows and arrows. Probably tomes. What kind of tomes, though?
Maybe ones that Robin doesn't already have.
Oh, so nothing then. Oof. Dragonstone, transform yourself into a dragon for a limited time.
Finally, Charizard's one dream.
Bowser, wait. This seems redundant. Hey, give me 1 second, guys, to go refill my water. Keep thinking of fun ideas while I'm gone. The power of love. Okay, we're moving on. We'll come back to Fire Emblem. Game & Watch. Okay. So for Game & Watch, so basic, yeah, giant flat zone level, left to right, and as you go, you have to engage in a few Game & Watch mini games to move along. Have no idea for items. The enemies. We already did a lot. We already got a lot of these. We got moles, cats, bugs with spears, crabs, iron birds, and ghosts, lions, sharks, bomb throwers, and hammer cowboys. Block men can be obstacle enemies. Mini bosses I went ahead and chose Dragalo and Oiram Repus. And then the world boss can just be the octopus. Simple enough, right? A Game & Watch device. So wait, you want to put a Game & Watch inside of a Game & Watch?
That's meta.
No. We need items from the games. The bucket from Oil Panic? Oh, thank you, Malik. Devil Axe doesn't hurt you if you miss. It's all RNG. There's a chance that using it will hurt you. Gotcha. We'll come back to that one then. The bucket, though. Numbers from Judge. Tomahawk from Zelda Game & Watch. Excuse me. Oh, thank you, Dark Meta Knight. Here's an idea. The smaller worlds like Ice Climber, F-Zero, and Game & Watch could be extra in between world. Well, no, Game & Watch doesn't need to be a small world. We have enough to make Game & Watch a whole world. But no, I see what you mean. But we can figure it out as we go. Yeah, oil buckets. Picked up and used. It spills oil on the ground forward. The ground, the spot covered in oil becomes slippery. If a player or enemy is hit by the spilt oil, they get covered in oil and lose a lot of their grounded traction. So they just naturally slip around. That sounds fun, right, guys? Like, inevitably, a lot of these items that we do for a Game & Watch world are gonna probably be stuff that Game & Watch already uses in his moveset, but there's not much we can really do about that considering how limited we are with Game & Watch games. Isn't that right, Brian? Brian? Validate me!
Okay.
Pong. That just gave me, you just saying Pong, gave me a really fun idea.
Oh no.
Pong Shield. An upgrade item. When picked up, a Pong, what's that called? What's it actually called? Like the thing that you move around to hit the ball, ricochet the ball off of? Is it just called a Pong?
Yeah. Well, are you talking about like the actual like bat itself?
Yeah, like the thing that you are physically moving. A paddle?
Yeah, I think it's a paddle.
A Pong paddle will float in front of your character like a shield. If a projectile hits the paddle, it will be transformed into a Pong ball and will ricochet and will start ricocheting around the stage. It will the ball will disappear as soon as it hits a player, but not an enemy. If the ball flies back toward the user with the Pong shield, the shield will automatically bounce the ball away. How's that sound? That sounds like an interesting, cool item. I think it does anyway. Validate me! What if I just became really toxic and just started begging for validation everywhere? It's like, Brawl Fan 1, toxic? Just wants attention?
Not clickbait?
Anyway. One of the falling tools. That's already actually a world element. Like we have, yeah, like I have world obstacles, animal traps from Donkey Kong Jr., and then yeah, falling tools from Helmet. That's already a world element. Excite Bike? I don't think Excite Bike was on Game & Watch. I think he uses for his jet. Oh, the puffer smoky whatever, parachutes. Brandon has abandoned us again. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Alright, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, and I am going to make a habit of stopping my streams once around 2 hours hits. So let's go ahead and move on and get through one more, and then we can continue this tomorrow. And that one more is going to be an easy one. Kid Icarus, guys!
Hey!
Skyworld. So, world theme, Skyworld and Underworld. This is a descending level, making your way from Skyworld to the Underworld. Items, and there's a lot, and there's actually a few Kid Icarus items. Almost like Sakurai made a Kid Icarus game or something. Back Shield, Daybreak, Killer Eye, Ore Club, Staff, and X-Bomb. So we need 3 more good Kid Icarus items. And then the enemies that I have chosen to go ahead and go with. Mono Eyes, Scuttlers, Mix, Shimums, Souffles, Speck Noses, Zuris, Eggplant Wizards, and Mimicuties. Orange as obstacle enemies. For the 2 mini-bosses, I went ahead and chose Twin Bellows and the Great Reaper. And the world boss, should it be Hades or Medusa as the world boss? What do you guys think?
Honestly, strong part of me is thinking Hades.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he was like the best thing to be added to Uprising.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. A part of me is thinking Medusa, but my heart says Hades.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, come on. Hades is just taunting you throughout the entire fight.
Yeah. And, he can be taunting you throughout the entire world.
He could. It's like it just makes it builds up to the big fight against him, and it's like, all right, I've had enough of your trash talk. Let's go.
Maybe the Eggplant Wizard staff could be an item. Oh, that's such a fun idea. But I feel like Kid Icarus Uprising already has so many available items. We probably should just stick to what exists. Oh, wait, Game & Watch music. We gotta go back to Game & Watch, guys.
Oh no.
Let me actually look up what even the items are in Kid Icarus Uprising. Let me see.
And I'm being called down for din-dins.
Okay. It'll probably be the end of the stream by the time you get back. Say goodbye to Brian, everyone. Oh, wait a minute, actually. There is such thing as the eggplant bomb. That is a thing. We could use that. And the tempura bomb, too, which is the same thing. Kind of. I wish I could spell. Wouldn't that be nice, guys, if I could spell things? For a limited amount of time. Transformed. They can only run and jump. Or here, run. No, I'll just do this. Walk, run. They're locked out of their attacks. They can only move can only move, shield, and dodge. That sounds fun, right, guys? You guys totally want to deal with that, right? Tempura makes you unable to run. Fine, Mr. Nitpicky. We'll just make it eggplants then. Because you gotta be so nitpicky. Oh, here's another interesting item actually that I kind of want to do. Centurion assist. When picked up, it summons a Centurion familiar that floats around the user. The user for a limited time. This Centurion will fire, it will automatically fire its own arrow shots at nearby enemies. Neat. You've got it. What do you got? The crucifix? What? That's an item? Atlas foot? Where's that at? Oh, here it is. Creates a cloud in the air in which a foot hides the stomp down on enemies underneath the cloud. Sure, why not? That sounds fun. Where the user picked up the item. Stomp causes a shockwave that can launch foes upward. I like that. Alrighty then. I guess for the time being we're good. We obviously got a lot of items that we got to go through with a bunch of the other stuff, but we can think about that as we go on. Because this is where I'm going to go ahead and stop things, guys. Because again, I'm going to start keeping my streams a little bit shorter, but I do want to stream a little more often, you know, to kind of make up for that. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go ahead and end things, guys. So next time we meet, regarding this, we'll continue things off with what's after Kid Icarus. WarioWare! Hope you guys look forward to WarioWare. Alrighty, I don't know what I'm going to stream tomorrow. I still really can't draw, so I might just do more of this if you guys are down for this. Like, are you guys enjoying this? Because I know I'm enjoying this. Like, this is just fun for my serotonin. Like, what do you guys think of this? Like, are you guys enjoying this? Just thinking of fun theoretical ideas for Smash Bros. Outside of just the movesets? You guys are liking it? Alright, cool. I'm glad. I'm really glad. I hope at some point, once we kind of build this up more and more, I can turn this into a proper video, and we'll see where things go from there. But, alrighty. That's where I'm going to go ahead and stop things, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.